Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for joining. I'm Conway Buckle. I'm the Head of Business Development. I've got some of my colleagues on the line and some of the partners from Economic Change and from Fundoc as well. I think we're just going to see, I've got some attendees who are on here already, and I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes for those who might be running a few more minutes late. But I hope you're well, and thank you for making the time to join us this morning. What I'm going to do is just going to show my screen quickly. Oh, let's see. I can still see your screen, AJ.
All right.
Yeah.
Shall I share with Graham?
Yeah, just if you just stop showing your screen, then I can show my one.
Oh, yeah. All right.
There we go. Perfect. There we go. Why am I not able to see my screen? Okay, there we go. So you should see my screen. Can you guys see my screen there?
Yep, I can see that.
Perfect. There we go. So I think, yeah, just give it maybe another minute and then we will kick off.
Yeah, there's people still joining.
Joining, yeah.
Give it till 4 minutes past, pal. Just give them the 1 minute call now, and then we'll go at 4 minutes past.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Go. The ever-growing list of attendees. Keep on coming in. Okay, I think I'm going to slowly start kicking off and just get into the first couple of slides before we jump into kind of more detailed discussions and demos as well. So hopefully by the time we get to that point, there's a couple of people coming on a bit later. I know I've had 1 or 2 messages saying people are overrunning, but they'll be logging in, in the first 5-7 minutes or so. But I'm going to kick off. So thank you again to everyone who's made the time to join us this morning. It's great to have everyone on board. I love modern technology. I've got the team from Fundoc, some of the guys from the UK, some of the guys in the Netherlands, myself and Graham from Economic Change, logging in separately. I love cloud, so I'm really, obviously everyone else kind of being able to log in. So really happy to have you join us. And today I'm quite excited to be doing this webinar with the Fundoc team. I think their products are amazing. The way that works with Salesforce or fundraising is amazing, and we're going to definitely jump a lot more into that. Just a brief agenda for today then. I'm going to spend a bit of time talking to you guys about economic change, for those of you who aren't familiar with us, about the work that we do, about a company, and specifically around some of the stuff we've done with some of our clients for fundraising with MPSP. And then we're handing over to the Fundoc team. He'll do a bit of an intro as well on themselves and show you a bit of what they do with payments automation, pushing into Salesforce as well, all around fundraising. And there's a time at the end for a bit of Q&A. Everyone is on mute for this, just for us to get through the content and keep it as short and sharp as possible, and get through everything we need to. But there is a chat box as well on the webinar panel. So if you have any questions, you can post them in there, and we will take some time at the end just to answer those, and a couple of sort of takeaways at the end as well for you guys to go and do. So just to jump into economic change a little bit. So I'm Conway Buckle, head of business development. I've got Graham Hopgood, who's actually on our support team and is also a senior consultant with us as well. And we have been around for about 13 years at this point, working exclusively in the nonprofit sector. We do a multitude of things. Initially we started off, and we still primarily are a management consultancy. We do a lot of work working with nonprofit organizations, charities, and now education institutions as well, looking at strategy, specifically around CRM, but looking at other areas of the organization, whether it's specific teams, fundraising teams, fundraising strategy, impact measurement, and a few other areas. Critically, we are a technology partner with Salesforce CRM. You can see the top right on the slide here in front of us. We're an impact partner with the Salesforce.org team, which essentially gives us credentials to work with the nonprofit cloud products from Salesforce, which we have been doing for the last 7 years or so. We're also a silver consulting partner with the .com side of Salesforce, which gives us credentials to work with all of the .com products, which are sales, service, marketing, communities, and quite often we kind of do a mix and match of products from the whole suite for nonprofit organizations and education institutes. We do focus quite a lot on change management as well. We do a lot of consulting, just sort of ad hoc consulting around that, or as part of our projects, and we believe it's kind of really essential to have that. If you're going through a technology change, a business process change, it's really important to have a proper change management plan with measurable milestones and KPIs in place, that you can measure the adoption and change within your organization related to the technology that we implement and the consulting we do around all of that business process. So we really believe that that's critical. As I said, we've been around for about 13 years. At this point, we have just over 240 clients that we've worked with, all using Salesforce in one way, shape, or form. Within that, we've done over 450, it must be nearly 465 projects at the moment. So a lot of the time, what happens is an organization works with us on a specific piece of functionality that they require. It might be fundraising, it might be impact measurement, it might be volunteer management, and then due to the nature of how Salesforce works and the flexibility and scalability of it, often we end up extending Salesforce into other parts of the organization as well. So quite often we start with one project and end up doing many projects with clients. I'm very happy to say that about 65% of our work all comes through referral or repeat business. Quite often, as I've mentioned, we do multiple projects where we engage with clients over a much longer period of time. Quite often we work with a specific stakeholder within an organization, and they move to another organization, and then they bring us in. So I think it's a great thing to be able to say that a lot of our work comes from referral and from repeat business. And we are a social enterprise ourselves. So, we really believe in giving back into the sector. We work exclusively in the non-profit space. As I did mention earlier, we're starting to do more in the education space as well, but really our hearts are in the non-profit industry, and we really want to focus on that, and we will continue to do so, both large and small charities that we deal with. And it's really, that stat in that bottom left over there, it's all about having a sustainable solution, making your organization sustainable. Whether it's having effective administration tools in place, being sustainable financially, around fundraising, or just, being able to report back to funders and donors. So that's one of our sort of key focus areas, and one of the main kind of results that we try to see with any project that we do. We do a multiple array of solutions. across the board. I've mentioned a few of them already. We do focus, I think it's probably quite evenly split across all of these. Fundraising and business development for nonprofits and small charities and large charities is definitely one of our key focus areas. And obviously for today's purposes, we'll be talking a lot about that, but we do a lot around membership, marketing. We even do HR kind of solutions for nonprofits. Obviously a lot of grant management, application management, and impact and service delivery, impact measurement is a huge part of what we do as well. So we help a lot of organizations outside of just technology, also developing, we're further refining the impact measurement frameworks. If they do not have one, helping them to develop that. So we kind of spread across the board, but definitely fundraising is a critical piece for any nonprofit, and that's where we spend a lot of our time focusing. And often we do projects which involve fundraising, but it might be marketing added onto that, or maybe funds are coming in through a membership program. So we quite often slice and dice and put multiple solutions together for clients. Some of the organizations that we've worked with, there's quite a few, as I've said, over 240 clients at this point. Some of the names in here you'll probably recognize. We also have done some projects recently with the likes of United Nations Association. We work with Lloyds Bank Foundation. So some really big organizations, some really small organizations. And again, it's a complete mix across the board of types of solutions that we offer. I think to specifically focus on one around fundraising, justice and care is one that we've done not that long ago. And yeah, we're very happy with the result, and I think they're very happy as well with the project that we delivered and some of the ROI, the return on investment that they are seeing out of implementing Salesforce and having the right partner to work with. They are an international organization, all focused around slavery and kind of just trying to have some kind of impact in changing that and being able to provide some kind of sustainable solutions to that. So we implemented the Nonprofit Success Pack from Salesforce with Justice and Care. We really focused on automation, reporting, and dashboards, and for their purposes, we had being an international organization, we did a lot of work around multi-currency functionality and forecasting. And I think some of the challenges that they faced were similar to what most organizations face, to be honest. It's all about lack of visibility, not understanding, from a pipeline perspective and a forecasting perspective, where their funding is coming from, when it's coming in, and being able to plan and have a strategy with the organization internally around that. And then some basic stuff as well, just sort of admin and tracking around the various stakeholders, in this case, specifically donors, donor prospects and existing donors as well, just having that kind of basic solution in place to be able to manage any engagement with them, understand where they are in their process of engagement with you, how to increase engagement with donors and to retain donors as well, which is critical, and being able to segment them as well, understanding your donor base, what region are they coming from, what is the age group, demographic that they belong to, whatever kind of key indicators that you need to be tracking can be set up within Salesforce, and it really provides some additional valuable insight for organizations. Again, it's the next point there really is again, it's about having that information at your fingertips. We have funding, where's it going? So you have programs and projects running, all this funding's coming in, but where's the funding being allocated, and how is it being used, and how do we report back on that, which seems like a really elemental piece of the puzzle, but a lot of organizations really struggle around that. So that's something we're able to do for Justice and Care really effectively. And then, last but certainly not least, one of the major challenges for any organization is having multiple systems in place and just trying to get a single system of record where everything is coming into one kind of database, from multiple channels. The beauty of Salesforce is that you can connect it to other systems as well. But ideally, you want to be at a point where, there's one single system of record for all of your stakeholders, partners, funders, internal staff, volunteers, donors, most certainly, and having one system that anyone can log into at any point of time and understand what is going on around a specific donor or what is happening within the organization in terms of engagement, whatever area it is that you need to be concerned with. So we've done, justice and care is one example. We did a great project as well for health poverty action, and we've done very many more. I'd say about 30 to 35% of our projects have all been around fundraising, and a lot more than that where we looked at fundraising tied in with other areas as well, like impact or marketing or whatever it might be. So I could sit here all day and talk about the various clients, but I think one for now is good enough. So what I'm going to do now is just hand it over to Graham, who's going to actually show you what MPSP looks like, and who is going to show you, the basics of what MPSP looks like and what fundraising looks like in MPSP. So I just want to check. There we go. There you go, Graham. I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Conway. So yeah, I'm Graham. I'm a technical consultant here at Economic Change. As Conway mentioned, I've been tasked with giving you a 5-minute crash course introduction to Salesforce for nonprofits. So yeah, I'll skip through it. And Conway's already mentioned a couple of times the nonprofit success pack. A lot of people, when they first hear of Salesforce as a potential solution for fundraising, or for program management or volunteer management or whatever their need is, they often take a pause and think, well, that sounds kind of salesy, and I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like it might be best for a nonprofit. And the great thing about what Salesforce.org offers is they offer the nonprofit clouds, which is basically an entire suite of customization and functionality that is installed over the top of the base Salesforce system, which means that for most charities, they're up and running on Salesforce extremely quickly. So I'm going to take you through some of the major features of that. But it's worth mentioning that because this is an app or a customization installed on top of the base system, you've still got all of the benefits of that base Salesforce system, the scalability, the customization, etc. So yeah, we'll dive in. So Salesforce is obviously a CRM at its heart. So it's great for managing your contacts and relationships. So your relationships might hinge around individuals or accounts, and depending on what your primary sort of stakeholders are, Salesforce can handle that. So if we just go into a typical contact, we'll choose one of our most active donors, one of our most active volunteers as well, Rachel. So for a typical contact, we've obviously got all their contact details, we've got their address, but we've also got that handy lookup of how many donations they've made, what their total donations have been across their lifetime of giving with us. And if they're a member or a volunteer, we can also get a lookup of their say volunteer hours, when they last volunteered with us. Slightly out of date, this demo data, but hopefully you get the picture. So for every record in Salesforce, we've got that basic lookup, and the nonprofit success pack is built around a household model. So if you're working with individuals mainly, Salesforce will organize those into households. And through MPSP, it will give you a lot of quite advanced functionality around being able to manage households. So we can go in, manage the household members, manage household addresses, manage who's included in mail outs. So if you're doing direct mail, we can include that there, play around with greetings and things like that as well. So some really good functionality, particularly if you are an organization that is mailing out a lot of information or is really interested in managing contacts on a household basis. Obviously, you might be an organization that's interested more in institutional relationships, maybe corporates, maybe grant-making organizations, maybe educational institutions, or whatever it might be. So there's always the functionality to do that as well. So this is a good example of an account, one of our funders in our demo charity. And again, you've got the same information, so you can see that detail of how much they've given, when they've given it, when was the last time they gave it, and then some information about some of the key contacts there as well. But as a CRM and a fully functioning CRM, we can store a ton of data about any one of our companies. So we can see all of the contacts that we've been involved with there. We can see a list of their opportunities as well. So we can easily see the latest ones, the biggest or the smallest, if we wish, as well. And then on those donations themselves, or what's typically called opportunities within Salesforce, we can build your process into the opportunity stages. So if you walk through a typical grant facilitation process through your proposals and into actually closing that grant, we can build that in, and this is fully customizable to match your stages. And again, on each opportunity, we're able to, just like we are against anything else in Salesforce, log activities against it. So if we just go back to Rachel, we've got this full contact history with them. So we can see when somebody's talked to them, when we've got upcoming or overdue tasks, and we can even send emails to her through Salesforce and be able to track whether she's actually read those and opened those, which is great. So within Nonprofit Success Pack, you've got some additional functionality around donations. So if we want to track our pipeline, we can look at it as a simple list, or we can look at it as a Kanban view like this. So if you enjoy sort of dragging and dropping things in a Trello board style, then this might be a helpful feature. And then within the records themselves, so if I just open one of these, we can manage fund allocations through our opportunities. So if I just look at related to this opportunity, we can track individual payments. So if we know this grant is going to be made in a series of payments over time, we can do that. We can manage allocations to particular funds. So if we've got a general fund, a core cost fund, or whatever it might be, we can add components to this opportunity so that we can then look at that allocation as a whole and see how much we've actually been donated towards it. And we can set up automation here to automatically assign certain donations to certain allocations, which is super helpful. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here as well that I could show you, things like engagement plans, action plans, solicitation plans, etc. But unfortunately, I haven't got a huge amount of time for that. But if you're interested in finding out more, we can definitely take you through that. If you contact myself or Conway, we're more than happy to demo those features in more detail. But one final thing that I wanted to just show you was a recurring donations functionality. So if you collect direct debits or standing orders from some of your donors, you can set up what's called recurring donations. So if we just choose, again, we're with Rachel Morris again, so we can see we can set up a established date, we can set it up as an ongoing monthly donation, and we can set up the allocation. And the cool thing with this is that Salesforce will maintain that schedule into the future. And something you'll see from FinDoc is being able to close these down automatically as the payments actually come in. But this is a really helpful functionality. And what's great about it is if Rachel decides to increase her monthly amount or decrease her monthly amount or change her schedule or installment periods, we can update it from here, and it'll update all of the future opportunities to match that schedule or renewed allocation. So yeah, a ton of useful features, a ton of things that can save a lot of charities a lot of time if you're doing this sort of stuff manually. This can be extremely useful. And then finally, all of this stuff, as most people are really interested in, can be put together in some quite sophisticated reports and dashboards. Salesforce, obviously one of the biggest selling points of it, it's got, you know, industry leading reporting capabilities. So it's super easy and super capable in terms of putting together dashboards like this. And this is definitely a selling point, and this is real-time data that you can report on whenever you like. All you have to go in is go in and refresh it, and you'll get the very latest data. So yeah, tons of things to sell Salesforce, but the other great thing about it is you can extend it with numerous off-the-shelf app software and some great ISVs like Findoc that we're very excited to be working with. So I guess now's a good time to pass over to, I think it's AJ from Findoc to tell us a bit more about Findoc itself.
That's great. Thank you, Graham. Yeah, I think it's going to jump over now and then hand over to Stuart and AJ. And let me just go here. So, yeah, thank you for that, Graham. Definitely a high-flying overview of Salesforce at a very high level. If you do want to know more, we're more than happy to have a chat with you guys about that. So I'm going to give it over to you, Stuart. I know there's a couple of slides you wanted to just go through quickly, and then obviously jump into what Findoc can actually do. So I'll leave it with you guys.
Thank you, Conway. Thank you, Graham. Hi, everyone. My name is Stuart. I'm the UK and I lead for Findoc. It's a pleasure to be here today. It's a pleasure to be working with our close partner, Economic Change, to show you how we can further extend and give you more functionality on top of the non-profit success pack. Now, Findoc, we're 100% native Salesforce ISV. Now, quite simply, as Graham alluded to, that means you can go into the Salesforce App Exchange and then download our software into your Salesforce. No coding, just pure configuration. This gives you the ability to seamlessly deploy Findoc in a very quick, easy manner. Findoc is a customer payment management platform. We understand charities deal with a huge amount of data sets, ranging from gift aid data, fundraising platform data, card payment data, and even bank data. Typically, in most organizations, this is held in silos with the finance team or the fundraising department, or even with an external agency. And it's very difficult to empower users to give them the data at their fingertips within their CRM. So Findoc has deployed our solution, which is also known as Findoc, to take all the data from all these external agencies, these external providers, these external data sources, and to roll that seamlessly into Salesforce. So, for example, going back to Justin Care that Conway mentioned, they had a very, very big problem of looking at their gifted donations and understanding just how well they're performing in lines of Just Giving. Typically, a user would have to go into an external application to get that data, but deploying Findoc in your Salesforce instance gives you that data at your fingertips. Again, these solutions come out of the box of Findoc, so you don't have to have your own developers doing your own development channel. You simply deploy Findoc and you select the payment type you require and the data you want to look into your organization. I'm going to keep it very high level because I want to give AJ, our CTO, as much time as possible to show you the product in action, to show you the power of Findoc coupled with MPSP. So I'm going to hand you over to AJ, our CTO, who will run you through some different payment scenarios and show you how we can roll up data into the solution.
That's great. Thanks, Stuart.
Yeah, so hello everyone. So my name is AJ, CTO at Findoc. Thanks for joining this webinar. Let me show you some of our capabilities, which we think are very relevant to the UK market. And where I would like to start is where the previous presenter stopped, right? At Rachel Morris at her page. This is a different org, so it looks slightly different, but the idea is the same, right? So we have a lot of information about Rachel here, including also some gift aid information. So something we add to this page is gift aid functionality. So here in this component, right top with the heart icon, you see here current gift aid status. And what you can see immediately from the cross is that Rachel doesn't have any gift aid status right now. and we will try to solve that. The first scenario I would like to talk you through is a scenario where we do a mailing. So we reach out to Rachel Morris, let's say through email, and we ask her to support a cause, and we send her a link with that, what we call a pay link. So let me just open the link that Rachel receives. So she will be routed to a payment form, which is personalized already, right? Like her name is being filled in, her email is filled in, also a suggested amount is filled in, £50. So what can you see on this page? Well, first of all, so we as Findoc support both single and recurring payments. So single means just one donation. Recurring is obviously donating every month, which most charities prefer. So we support both. For this scenario, it will be just a single donation. So these payment amounts, it's best practice to suggest a couple of amounts. You can personalize that. So based on the information you have from that contact, you can kind of pre-generate amounts that you think are applicable and will resonate. And then payment methods. That's a very important part of our system. So we support a lot of payment methods. So this demo only includes direct debit, credit card, but there are way more, like for instance also PayPal. And a payment method is really a way of paying, method of paying. What is also best practice in the UK is already here to ask if someone wants to participate in the gift aid program. That can be a huge source of revenue. So it's important. So it's important to already ask this question here. And this is just a demo page, right? So normally what we see is that charities have more information here, right? They describe the gift aid program, and they sometimes ask more detailed questions. But in the high level, this is really what you want to do, right? You want to ask every donor to also explicitly participate in the gift aid program. So let's do this for Rachel. And let's also kind of have a different number here, right? She says, well, today I just want to donate £45. And now she submits this form. She will now be redirected to a payment service provider page. So like we support 8 or 9 PSPs, including WorldPay, Stripe, PayPal, and Checkout.com. And these parties, these partners of ours, will really process the credit card payments. Only these partners will actually see this credit card number, right? So from a privacy perspective, we don't see this number, and also the charity doesn't see the number, right? Which from a compliance perspective is quite ideal and handy. So Rachel on this page will fill in her credit card number, her name on the card, expiration date, CVV, kind of standard stuff, and she says, okay, please complete the payment. Well, and of course we thank you, and we thank the donor for the payments. All of this is kind of customizable, right? So you really make this form your own. On the background, what we do, we have done a lot of things actually here, but the key thing is, and that's true for most of our system, we tried to translate payment complexity into Salesforce data, right? In a way that fits with MPSP, and which people from the Salesforce world would consider kind of a good way of representing data. So what does it mean, right? So here, so Graham introduced, so in MPSP, donations are modeled as opportunities. So what we've done, we created a donation, stage closed 1, right? Because we have the money, so it's a collected payment. So we have the contact here. We also created the payment profile. Let's open this. So a payment profile is really a method of paying. So for each contact, we maintain a list of known ways of paying. So we store that here. And as you can see here is from, let's say, WorldPay. we only receive the last 4 numbers, right? Because of privacy reasons, but we do store that, right? Because it is information which can be helpful. Yeah, so that's the first flow I wanted to show to you guys, is the online payment flow. And let me also go back to Rachel Morris. We'll go deeper into gift aid later. But I do already want to show you that now Rachel Morris she does have a valid gift aid declaration. So she's part of the gift aid program, and we can now collect gift aid declarations for the future, but also actually for 4 years back. And more about this later. What I want to talk about next is recurring payments. Direct debit through the BACS network. Let me open this. So, like Graham already showed, the recurring donation object, which is standard NPSP, is crucial here, because that's really where they store in Salesforce that Aidan Bird, in this case, wants to donate £25 every month, right? And then under donations, you will find kind of every month there is a there's a task to collect that money, and then our job as FinDoc is to collect that money, right, through the BACS network, following all BACS standards. So how does that work? Let me open this. So what is crucial here is our payment schedule object. And each instance of this is basically a payment run. So for each payment run, you will create a payment schedule record. Below, you fill in for which payment methods you want to collect, and also the dates which are relevant, right? So on which date you want to collect, when you want to run, and until which date you want to select donations. In our system, a payment schedule consists of 3 phases. So the first phase is the prepare phase, which is already completed here. And what this really does is scope the payment schedule. So what we do is we look in the system for all donations that are still open, that need to be collected this month, and we attach it to the payment schedule. And what that brings to a charity is a lot of control, because now you can precisely see what date, what donations will be collected, and actually before this is submitted to BACS, you can check and even correct data if that's needed. So that gives a lot of control. And this looks quite technical, but what I want to show you here is that we really make it a point to be very transparent on how our system works. So we actually show which parts of the system execute. We show the query that that found all donations. So that's just information you have. Once you are happy as a charity with this with this payment schedule scope, you can say start processing. And now the system will take this data and generate a valid standard 18 BACS collection file. And let's see if it's done. So it's done now. If we now create a new tab and go to Chatter, and Chatter is it can be used for a lot of purposes, but we use it as a file as a way of sharing files with our customers. So what we've done now, as the process phase, we generated a valid standard 18 collection file, right, for Aidan Bird, as you can see there. And the next step, so as a charity, you will want to offer this to your BACS bureau, basically, right? And the BACS bureau will then further handle this file. Once the BACS bureau says, "Wow, this is a great file," we can further take this. You say to our system, "Okay, the file has been accepted." And what we will then do is close the opportunities, right? So Graham showed you that the recurring donation has a list of donations which are all open in the beginning. We now know that the money has been collected, and so we can put these donations to closed, which you then can, which you together with your partner, you can then use to trigger the rest of your payment journey, right? You can send out a thank you message, these kind of things you can do. So now we have done a payment schedule run. You know, I think the main point here is it's very flexible, right? It gives a lot of insight on scope, and you can run this as often as you want. You can run it monthly, you can run it weekly. You have all the flexibility. Let me spend some time on gift aid, which is hugely important for UK. So let me refresh this page. So Rachel Morris has valid gift aid. What we do, we store gift aid declarations in our system, right? With all the required information, like start date, end date, address information. And this drives, and from this we calculate if a content is eligible for gift aid. And also, if we go back to the contact, you know, let's say that you a lot of these things go through just normal mail or telephone. You can manage gift aid declarations from this component. So if someone calls and now says, I want to participate, you can create a gift aid declaration directly from here. If someone calls and says, okay, I lost my job or something like that, and I want to stop gift aid, you just click this button and well, we will ask for a close reason, but all the gift aid stops. So this is more like the gift aid management. But then what we do, and the UI for that is very similar to the payment schedule I just shown. We will, so you will run a gift aid schedule. And what that does is two steps. First, we will go through all the payments in your system and find out if there are still opportunities for new gift aid claims. So like for this payment we just received from Rachel, we will generate a new gift aid claim, which is 20% of this value, right? So that's step one. So we create gift aid claims. And in step two, we will automatically submit these claims to the HMRC. So we are a HMRC approved gift aid provider. So fully automatic, we will submit the information. Speaking of fully automatic, I think what's good to know is that we have two main BACS flavors. So the thing I showed you is the standard 18 flow, which a lot of charities are used to. But it involves a manual step, right, where you need to upload the files we generate onto the BACS bureau. We also have a partnership with Smart Debit, where this is fully automated. And as some of you will know, right, so BACS is more than just the collection file. It's also response files like the AUDIS, ADEX, and ARID. You can submit these on our system, and we will process them, and we will reconcile the data accordingly. I think we'll have some time, right? So, so the last thing I would like to show you is very new, and it's our guided matching functionality. And it's related to, I think for the UK, it's mostly related to standing orders. So some payments you just receive are not initiated by us, and you just receive, right? So standing orders, and you will find out about these through bank statement files like the MT940 or the CANT files, which the UK is moving to. So what we do, so you can upload these files on our system. We will translate these files into Salesforce data. That's the first thing we do. So in this example, there is a file with, so this is header information. This file has six transactions in it. So that translates to six records. But then if we open one of those, we will actually, you know, we will reconcile those, right? So you can configure rules how to do that. But we will try to find out, okay, for which, so we received a transaction, for which to which donor does this belong, to which campaign does this belong, and once that is done, right, we will also update the donations, right? So maybe we learn from that there's new money received or an open donation can be closed. We do that here. And a big part of this is also that sometimes the system cannot do this fully automatically, right? This is very often kind of part system, part agent. So in our system, we try to combine this, right? So in this use case we see here, we try to find a payment profile using the account number. But unfortunately, there are actually two payment profiles with the same account number. So now we will ask an agent to to select the correct one. So the agent, looks at the data, looks at the system, and says, okay, this is clearly August. So he or she selects August. Save and continue. The system will take over and complete this transaction. And we believe that this can be very useful in standing order processing. All right, that's what I had to share. Conway, give it back to you.
That's great. Thank you so much, AJ. Really appreciate that. And again, with a limited time, I know we can get into a lot more detail. So, just to reiterate again, we're really happy to be working with Findoc. We've done a lot of fundraising work in the past with organizations, and we really see that Findoc is that last missing piece of the puzzle, where it's all fine and well to have a fundraising solution and have all those donor records within Salesforce, but if you really want sort of that automated end-to-end process, how do we get that payment data in? So you can have a CRM in place, you can have all those donor records and the contacts in there, but if you really want to have that really truly automated solution, you need something like Findoc to be able to automatically bring in all that payment information, whether it's through direct debit, through BACS, payments processes like Stripe, etc., etc. And it's really great that you guys are offering for the UK market that free gift aid automation solution. I think it's a huge value add for organizations in the UK. And I know that Findoc has been doing a lot of work on the product development side, increasing the way that Findoc and Salesforce MPSP and the Salesforce platform are integrated with each other. It is 100% native, as Stuart said in the beginning when he was talking. So we really feel confident that the two solutions working together provide that seamless kind of integrated holistic solution for organizations looking at fundraising and automated payments. So we're really happy to be working with Findoc. I personally work really closely with Stuart on speaking to organizations. So as a takeaway, I think just to finish off today, because I am conscious of time, there's a couple of things that you can do. If you'd like to learn more about how economic change and Findoc working together can help your organization, please do reach out to myself or to Stuart. More than happy to have a chat with you, do more in-depth demos, look at specific requirements or challenges that you are facing, definitely. There was certainly not enough time today to do more deep dive into an MPSP demo or into a Findoc demo, and we could spend a lot more time doing that. So more than happy to have a chat with you or set up a meeting or a call. If you're not using Salesforce already, or you'd like to just learn a little bit more about Salesforce NPSP, you can sign up for a free trial. So there's a link here. I'll be sharing this recording afterwards as well with everyone who's attended. So you can see that, but it's there, www.salesforce.org/nonprofit/Power of Us. So you can get a free 30-day trial of Nonprofit Success Pack, which gives you an opportunity to just kind of have a look at MPSP, some of that basic fundraising functionality around contacts and opportunities and so on that comes sort of out of the box, which always needs a bit more customization, but it gives you a look and feel. And from there, as a small organization, if you don't have it already, you can apply for 10 free licenses as a non-profit in the UK. You just need to provide some information for Salesforce and you would get 10 free licenses in perpetuity. So it's a great opportunity to just get more familiar with Salesforce if you aren't already. And for those of you on the call who've seen this, and it's definitely ticking some of the boxes, or if you have colleagues who were not able to make the call, you will be getting a recording, so please feel free to share this with colleagues, with stakeholders within your organization, and if they'd like to have a closer look, more than happy for you to do that. And again, if you've seen some things that you like here and you'd like to discuss a bit more with us, please do reach out to us. There was going to be a bit of time for Q&A. I don't see that anyone has really posted any questions, but again, you can reach out to us. I'm sure a couple of you might have some questions. like gift aid or so on?
There's some questions actually in the question box, Conway.
Oh, well, I'm not seeing those. Sorry. Why am I not seeing them?
So
sorry.
under questions rather than the chat.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Apologies. My lack of knowledge around GoToWebinar. So I guess one of the questions from Debbie: will opportunities created generate payments? We don't use those for all records types, I think. Would that generate a payment, Stuart, AJ?
Yeah, so in our system, you can configure for which record types you want to involve Findoc, basically, right? So generate payments. And so you can explicitly exclude record types if you want to. And that's often used as well.
Okay, so it can do that.
And also just to flag up as well. So Findoc payments are a separate object, I believe, from the MPSP payments that you're talking about there, Debbie. So they're sort of separate objects. Findoc ties very closely with opportunities, etc. on the Salesforce side. So the objects you're familiar with now, but that can be set for your MPS. So if you're talking about the MPSP payments, that can be set up through your MPSP settings.
Perfect, thank you. I think the next there was, so Debbie's asked another question there. How would PayPal / Just Giving, etc. be treated for matching, like the standing order? I guess is the, I can't see the rest of the question. Like the standing order one just shown. So would that be the case?
Yeah, it can be. It can be. So there will be some partner work involved, but all our data is standard Salesforce, so API enabled. The data loader can be used. So normally what a customer would do is import the data they receive from Just Giving and import it in the system, and then indeed the same mechanism can be used.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And then there was one last one there from Halima saying, you know, if you want to send monthly payment reports, is this available to download? You know, so yeah. Definitely, yeah, I know any data that's within Salesforce, and I'm sure that it works with Findoc as well. You can download, you can any reports, you know, you can report on any data, whether it's payments, any donor information that you're looking to get insight on. You can download those and send them. You could even send them out through Salesforce as well, automatically email them out. You could even set an automatic email trigger that would send them on a regular basis. If you have a stakeholder on your board that needs to see that on a monthly or quarterly basis. So I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to add on that, but it is definitely available to download.
Fully correct. I agree.
Okay, 100%. Okay, well, thanks, Halima. I didn't know about for some reason, I didn't know about this question box, but now I know, so that won't happen again. But I'm glad there were a couple of questions we could answer. Yeah, just to thank everyone again for your time this morning, and thanks to the Findoc team for joining us. And thanks to Stuart, and thank you, Graham, and thank you for everyone on the call. I hope that you got to see as much value as we do, you know, looking at a solution with MPSP and Findoc. And please do reach out to us if you want to learn some more. More than happy to have a call or a meeting with you. And if you don't have the trial, please do sign up for that trial as well. So I'm going to end the webinar now. Just a last thanks again to everyone, and hopefully we speak to you soon. Thank you so much for joining. Cheers, guys.
Hey, AJ, it's just us two on now. Still there?
Yeah, I see. Hi. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I just waiting for Kat. So, AJ, thank you very much for jumping in, helping Steph and I do this today, mate. It's really appreciated. Unfortunately, Conway only showed 2 of the 3 slides we sent him. So we didn't
Oh,
get. He didn't show the agnostic slide talking about free gift aid and bring your own PSP, etc. So thank you for covering that. Yeah, wasn't the best webinar in terms of attendees or story, but that comes down to planning. But I've already got an email from 2 prospects who are on the call, so you know what to call me.
good, nice. And I think also Stuart, right? So what I've put a lot of time into the last couple of weeks is this demo, right? So it's becoming very repeatable, and so it's becoming way easier to do this demo lots.
Yeah, AG, it's bang on point. It's lovely. It flows well. We go through each part of the key components of the solution very well. So yeah, so start rock and roll now. And I keep on asking Boss to give me access to it, so we can do my own ones. But we'll see if I get that access, and then we can start.
You will. I think we're not. I think it will be kind of a couple of weeks, but we're almost ready to share it with everyone. So actually, Salesforce yesterday demoed us in the .org event using this.
I seen it. I got some photographs from some Salesforce AEs who were there to
cool.
say, oh my god, I can't believe we're seeing FinDoc actually working for a G. It's like, yes, it is a demo tomorrow. But I'm going to have to jump off now because I've got a call with Richard and Ruth to ask them why the fuck no Salesforce AEs turned up. I'll be honest with you, AJ, the only reason I wanted to do this was for the Salesforce AEs to join us, and they didn't join. So.
Oh well, that's your job. So good luck.
But cheers, AJ. Thanks for your help, mate. Much appreciated.
Yep. Bye bye.
See you soon, pal. Bye bye.